Alrighty, guys and gals, welcome. I would say from the King's Room, but the for some reason my animated backgrounds are the screwing up in OBS. I got to figure out what's going on there. So we're from the streets of I don't know. This looks like somewhere in Hogwarts. What's the town? What's the town near Hogwarts? I don't remember what it is. um, anyway, this is just kind of a one-off video here. I'm going to address just a couple of things. I did catch up on comments via typing. I think I got most of them. I've not seen, I mean, I did ones with no replies. I haven't replied to replies yet, and I'm going to try to do that. But anyway, I got a dentist appointment coming up tomorrow. And for the last week, whether you have noticed or not in videos, I've been super anxious and like internally super anxious and kind of worried, and that's just how I get. I've been trying not to let it show too much, but I realize I end up dragging my, whatever's going on in my personal life into videos a lot, and it's not something I like that much. I think it's okay a little bit to. I mean, I think it's interesting sometimes. Some of my favorite YouTubers, I kind of like to know personal things, but they share a little bit, maybe a story or two. I like it, but there's a difference between that and like what I do sometimes. So two things I don't like about myself, and I realize this about myself. One is I'm hypercritical. I can be very critical, even about something I really love. Two, I'm very opinionated, and so I guess those two things kind of go together. But I often drag these things into the games I'm playing. And like I said, I think a little bit of that is okay, but I've realized I probably do it way too much. And right, people are here to watch, I mean, for the most part, a let's play. They're watching a video game. But I don't know. I think it's a fine line between entertainment. I don't know. There's a couple of lines there, and it's. I feel like if you have just the right amount of each type of thing, it makes it more interesting to watch. I think people make a connection with somebody that they're watching, and I like that idea. But I do know that my opinions, and I know this 100% fact, since I've started YouTubing, especially early on, I have 100% lost viewers and subscribers because of something I've said. I've gone too far or talking about something too personal. It's just, I've always kind of been that way. And it's, like I said, it's just how I am. But I try not to do it, but I end up doing it a lot. So what is my point here? I think everybody needs somebody in their life to kind of call them out on stuff. So I'm a single guy, live by myself. I don't really speak to anybody. So I don't really have that person in my life to kind of make me see, maybe something I said or something, the way that I'm looking at something, it might not be the healthiest way, or it's good to have another person, right? Have a different point of view. And I try to be open-minded, and I try to put myself in other people's shoes as much as I can. It's just sometimes I'll get on this kick where, especially if I've been thinking about something like before I start recording, I'll do my little intro and we'll kind of get into the game. And then I just sort of, you know what, I was thinking about it, blah, blah, blah. And then I just kind of go off on this rant. And the thing about people who express their opinions is it's always going to upset people because, I mean, especially if you're talking about something in a negative way or you don't agree with something and it's the other person's favorite thing, then you have some conflict there. And what can happen is you can like offend that person or hurt their feelings, and it goes both ways. But I realize my views on like popular music today, on the political system, healthcare systems, things like this that I really shouldn't be bringing up in a gaming video. Excuse me. I overstep. I really do. I know I've offended people. And And I'm never trying to do that. I want people to know this. So one of my biggest commenters and supporters, Dustin, I love you, brother. I'm not calling you out or anything, man. I'm actually really glad that you wrote the comment. He basically let me know. He's like, and I needed to hear this, Dustin. I really did. He's like, he's basically saying, take it easy with your opinions, man. you know, like, you can ruin the video for me sometimes. And I realize this about myself. And I got to be honest, so many times, countless times, when I have like, sometimes it's in the middle of a rant or sometimes after the middle of a video, the end, in my head, I'm thinking, I'm not going to release this video. Like, what am I doing? Right. I've been there so many times because I've gone too far. So feedback like that, even though it might hurt my feelings at first, I need to hear it. I really do. It does help me. Because like I said, man, I'm in this bubble here just completely alone, and I'm into this. And if you're alone for too long in your life, like I said, there's nobody to kind of keep you in check. So you can kind of go too far up here. And, so it's good to have feedback like that. Dustin, dude, please don't feel weird or bad or anything. I saw a follow-up comment and I responded to you. I was actually waiting to respond to that particular comment in like one of these things because I wanted you to see my reaction and my emotion and let you know, dude, I consider you a friend of mine, even though I don't know you, personally, but we've had enough correspondence to where we have a good sense of each other. And I know that I've said things that you don't agree with, and vice versa. We're different ages, so there's going to be things that we have different opinions about. But I know that I go too far. I just want you to know, and I've had a lot of other comments too over the years, basically saying the same thing. And like I said, I know that I've actually lost subscribers. I've had some people basically say, "Hey, man, like F you," like things like that, and they're gone, and that's because of something I said. Now, some of that's on them to not take it too personally, because I am entitled to what I like and don't like in my own opinions about it. But I don't think gaming videos are the best format for somebody who may be as opinionated as myself. And so I've been thinking, right now this is just all up in the air, but I've had more than one person tell me that they think I would be good in like a podcast type of thing. I wouldn't even really know how to do that, but maybe it's something I need to do every once in a while and just kind of air out just a little something like this and just kind of talk about, I don't know, maybe I could pick a topic or you guys could pick a topic and I could just, I don't know, talk about it and kind of get it out. And that way the gaming videos are just more about gaming. I mean, I'm always going to have a little bit of personal things that I bring up. As a matter of fact, man, there is a video coming out, and I can't actually remember which video it was in because I was thinking about deleting it. I think it's on the Naked Warrior, where for some reason, I don't know how I got on the topic, but I was talking about something that was common that happened to me a lot when I was little about being physically abused. I'll say that. And I just kind of just came out and I ended up talking about it for a bit. But then I realized real awkwardly in a moment, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what am I sharing here? Right? I don't know. I may let it go. I don't know. But this has happened to me many times where I'm sharing stuff that's really deep and personal. And even though I might be joking about it, it's obviously stuff that has formed me as a person as I've gotten older and as an adult. Not trying to make this into anything that it's not, but I will say that childhood trauma casts a shadow the length of a lifetime. Somebody said that a long time ago, and there's never been a truer quote in my experience. It forms how your brain works, how you think, how you react to things across the board. But so that's an example where I caught myself, and as I was finishing up the video, it was just so awkward for me. Now I try to like not show that, but I'm thinking I'm not releasing this video. Like, you know, what the fuck? Um, so, but there are a lot of people who actually really enjoy some of these stories. I think in the same video, I tell a long story about some of my experiences when I was working as a commercial fisherman. I mean, we didn't call it commercial fisherman back then, but I worked on a scallop boat. It was super dangerous. If you ever seen the show like The Deadliest Catch, they're fishing for king crab. We were fishing for scallops, but basically the same thing. Super dangerous. And I was reminiscing and telling stories. I think it's all in the same video. Like stuff like that, I think is cool. And I think people might enjoy some of that, especially if it's somebody who's just listening to my video and they're not watching. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't want to watch this, but if they're just listening at work or something, and I know a lot of people do that, I think it might be interesting. I know it is for me personally because there are some of my favorite YouTubers I know absolutely nothing about. Nothing. Like almost zero. I don't know where. I mean, I know where they live because they usually mention it. But like living situation, girlfriend, boyfriend, married, kids, nothing. Job, and maybe that's the way it should be. But I got to say, I kind of like a little of both. I think it's interesting because if you're watching somebody and you're following somebody, there's something about what they're doing that you have a connection to or you like, whether it's their voice, whether they're gorgeous, or whether it's just the way that they narrate. I know that it's like that for me. And sometimes I wonder, like, I'd like to know more about this person, but you don't get it. But like I said, I think that is probably a better scenario for a Let's Play or for a gaming channel. But anyway, I'm just I did this spur of the moment because I literally just got through responding. I was going to do a King Reads Comments, but it said I had over 100, and I don't think I had that many, but I had quite a bit, probably 60 or 70. And I think I've responded to everything. Again, with the exception of you leave a comment, I reply, and then you reply back to me. I don't always see those. That's just a thing that is. I don't know why, but that is just a thing on YouTube for some reason. But again, I do make every effort to read. I do read every single comment. I don't always see every single comment. That's the difference. But at the very least, if it's just somebody saying like, they give me a thumbs up, like the emoji or something, the least I'm going to do is give them a heart. But in most cases, you'll get a response if anybody cares. But I just got through doing that. And like I said, I kind of was thinking about what, things I've shared on the channel and things that I talk about. And I know I go way too far. I've very opinionated. I have very strong opinions about the world today and the state of the world. And I end up dragging things into it, like the music industry. And I end up kind of crapping on what I think of the music industry, or I try not to get into politics, but I do every once in a while. I'm not a political person, but I do have opinions about that and like the healthcare system here in the United States and blah, blah, blah. I don't think this is a good format to touch upon those things. Sharing stuff about myself is one thing, but you start getting into rough waters there when if you're talking about religion or politics, especially, I try to stay well clear of that stuff. But we just had the presidential election here in the United States. So I'm like kind of worried about even saying this, but a lot of people, nearly half, are not happy with what happened, but that's the way that it is, right? Anyway, so I guess I just kind of wanted to address this, and I really want to let you guys and gals know, try not to take anything I say too personally. I know it might be hard, especially if I'm like attacking something that you love. Just keep in mind, I'm an old guy. I was born in 1970, so I have a different taste and view on things that 20-year-olds do. I'm just in a different place. But it doesn't mean It doesn't have to mean anything. It just means I don't like it. And I have specific reasons for why I don't like it. But I think this is where I get myself in trouble. Me saying I don't really like the music of today is one thing. Me diving in and trying and picking apart, this is why these things I don't, that's a little bit different. Like I don't, that's, I think, where I need to kind of put a lid on it and shut the fuck up. Really. It's what I need to do. No. But feel free to call me out, though. Seriously, like I said, man, this Dustin, I appreciate your comment and I appreciate you being here and everything that you've done. You're a big commenter on my channel. Your comments are helpful. They make me laugh. But I also need like these kind of reality checks. I really do. So I'm a super sensitive guy. I tend to take things very personally, which is no surprise given how I am on how I come across. It did hurt my feelings. But as I thought about it, I was like, you know what? He's absolutely right, like 100% right. So this is where I need to pull back and get out of my emotions and get out of my head about this and just kind of take a breath and say, yeah, like I went too far here. Now, I don't know what I was talking about, Dustin. I have no idea, man. It could have been anything. Who knows what it was, but just, keep in mind, like I said, I'm never trying to offend somebody or hurt somebody's feelings or whatever. I just talk too much. And this YouTube thing that I've done, it's really opened me up. That has a lot to do with it too. I never used to be like this, like talk this much, even if I was in a relationship or something. But since YouTubing, it was an almost immediate too. I mean, the first videos on this channel are the worst videos you will ever see on YouTube. They suck. Horrible. Don't watch them. They are the worst. I don't know what I was doing. I had all these weird camera angles. We're like, well, we're fucking looking now. I'm looking. I didn't know what I was doing. Wasn't comfortable with myself. I didn't know what to do or how to be, but that got a little bit better. But now, I feel like this is actually the most comfortable that I feel in my life is when I'm doing this now, which is a weird, weird thing because I'm the only one in here and I'm speaking out loud to a camera. So, anyway, I lost my train of thought there. So we're going to move on now. Don't take anything I say personally. I know that's easier for me to say than it is done. I know if somebody was barking at me and it was my favorite thing, I'd be like, fuck you, man. So, but anyway, reading through the comments I saw a lot of people, not a lot, but a handful of people are wanting me to try the Iron Man challenge in Cataclysm. And I'm thinking about doing this. I just don't know how I could fit it on the channel. So I actually did do an Iron Man challenge in retail. It was on a goblin. At least one did I do a monk? I think I just did the goblin. And I got my ass kicked, but it was in the area. It was in this weird area. It wasn't Kazan, that first island. It was like the second island you go to, which I hate. I hate that, man. Goblin is, I think, Worgen too, but you have to finish those before you can just go to Storm or go to Ogrimmar and start doing your stuff. You have to finish those two areas, but I hated the quest. But it was the part where you have to be like, where you have these rocket boots and you're flying through this thing and the mobs will wreck you. And I was like, this is retail. It's easy. And I got killed, but I have not done it in Cataclysm. But I think Cynics and one other person recommended if you do Iron Man and Cataclysm, you should do dungeons. I think that's a great idea. Just the white gear. I actually think running dungeons in the Iron Man would be easier than solo questing. I don't know, but just because the tanks are so effing insane, like I would never pull. The only way I would get in trouble in a dungeon if I was standing in something or like I pulled mobs. If I pulled mobs that the tank didn't have aggro on, I'd probably die like that. But that's interesting. I've got it written down. I like that idea. So what we might do here, I don't know how far I'm going to get on the mage. We've had some really, the videos are not out yet, but I've had some really close calls coming up. I have one video coming up. I thought it was done. I thought it was over. I don't think we're making it to 60, but I'm going to do the best I can. I'm already, I don't want to say proud of myself, but to get this far in a mage, I know, there are people out there say mage and hunter too easy for Iron Man. I don't really know what to say to that. I mean, let's see your videos of yours. You know, I'm not trying to be a dick, man, but I think that's kind of a shitty comment. Like, too easy on the Iron Man? Are you out of your mind? I don't really think it matters what class you're doing it on. I do think you have got a better chance with, especially Hunter, right? Because the pets are so OP, but I wouldn't say it was easy. And I'm not an expert player, but I think I'm a decent Iron Man player, only because I know areas and what to expect, blah, blah, blah. I may not do the right rotations and things and panic, but I think for the most part, I'm like decent at it. But I would never say the Iron Man's easy. Anyway, the point is, if we end up biting it early on Susie, is that her name? Yeah. I'll probably try a Cataclysm Iron Man run and mix it up between a mix of quests and dungeons. That might be fun to do. And, well, hold on now. Yeah. I could not go as a tank or a healer, obviously, because I'm not going to have the gear to heal, and I'm not going to have the gear to take shots. So it would definitely have to be DPS, obviously. So, yeah, I was just internalizing there, but that might happen. I'm having a whole lot of fun with Baldurs Gate. I recorded the second episode yesterday. I had a ton of trouble for some reason with the rendering of this video. I don't know what's going on. It's actually rendering right now. I've got about 20 minutes left on it. But I've been reading comments, tips and tricks. I'm going to be saving a lot. I already had a kind of a big issue in the second episode. I do a cutscene, but I basically had to replay a whole thing because I didn't save. So I'm going to be auto-saving quite a bit. Lesson learned there. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. I know a lot of you said I should probably have played Divinity, the first two games at least first. But I saw it after the first video, so I'm having fun with it right now. I'm trying to role play my character and make right decisions based on my paladin, Jack Justice. It's a lot of fun. I've been getting my ass kicked in these fights, so I'm going to have to find some gear or figure something out, or use my intimidation as strength, or one of the other characters maybe with intelligence, or I think it's charisma works its way into conversations, and maybe try to talk my way out of fights, at least till we are better equipped to handle it, because some of these mobs have so much health, and I'm looking at my health. I have like 14 health, right? I take a shot from an imp and I'm almost dead. So, but I got to be honest, I would rather it be like that. I like a challenge in a game. I like things to be difficult, and it makes me think, okay, well, how else can I play this? There must be something I need to do first before I can fight this pack of mobs, right? Or just get good, right, as they say. So, anyway, I think that's it. Yeah, I think we've got some birthdays coming up on the channel. I could be wrong, but I do believe we've got Cynics and Glenn on the 17th of November. We've got Jamie, I think, coming up on the 20th. So I thought I had written these down. Oh, no. Wait a minute, what the hell? Oh, I've got two Daniels. So I've got a nephew named Daniel, but I think we have Daniel from the channel. Daniel from the channel. Igna, are you November 13th or are you December 13th? This is probably my nephew. I don't know. Anyway, um, if I can work it out, it's hard to plan something for a day if I get ahead in videos because I have to remember when that video is coming out to remember to do it while I'm recording it. I don't know if that even makes any sense, but happy early birthday to you guys. If I got the date wrong, let me know. But I guess I'll wrap this up here. We are just about 30 minutes in. I just, like I said, just kind of wanted to put this out there and just, you know, let you know I talk a lot. I'm opinionated, and I'm really going to try to get better about that. Like, I kind of like sharing some personal stories and things like that. But as far as my opinions and these rants I go off on, I feel like that needs to come out of the channel a little bit. I mean, unless it's game related, I think that's obviously different. If I'm complaining about something in the game, I'm playing the game, so that's different. But going off on these other tangents, I don't think is healthy in any way. I mean, I've always said the channel's been like therapy for me, but I can't use that as like you guys are my therapist and let me rant and get feedback, right? It's different. So anyway, I guess that's it for me. I love you guys. Thank you for all of the comments. I get so many comments. It is mind-blowing how many comments I get for a channel my size. I think it is very, very unusual. I'm grateful. I really am. And I think a lot of it has to do with because I share personal things, not so much my opinions or whatever, but you know what I mean. I think people sometimes make connections, and I think that's why people give me so much feedback. And then I also respond is the other thing. I see a lot of channels with a ton of comments, no responses from the YouTuber, which to me is weird. I mean, I can see a channel with millions and millions of subscribers. You would have to hire people, I think, literally. That must be incredibly overwhelming. But, for a channel my size, it feels like a lot of comments, and I appreciate it. So welcome to new viewers. I hope you stick around. Welcome and thank you to people who have chosen to subscribe. It's free to do. And of course, as always, a big giant hug and a thank you to my lovely channel members who have hit the join button. And for a couple of dollars a month, they are supporting me financially. And it is amazing to me that people are doing that. And it's much needed in my life. And it's the reason, well, it's not the main reason. I actually never thought I would even be monetized. I couldn't imagine, making money as a YouTuber. I didn't think it was ever going to happen. Now, it's not a lot of money. I'm going to tell you that. It's like every 2 or 3 months I get a little bit of money, and it's enough to pay some of a bill. But that's not the point. The point is you chose to do it, which is way above and beyond, and it makes a huge difference in my life. So thank you, channel members, for doing that. I guess that's it for me. You guys and gals, take care. I love each and every one of you. I will see you in a future episode of something.